your violin playing will play in my head for the rest of my days. The painters. I'm looking forward to getting to know you better tonight. And I heard a rumor there's something about a chocolate chip cookie I should learn about as well. Liz and Emily? Where's Liz? Sophie wouldn't be the same without you two. John and Mike. Where's Mike? Stephen's it's great to have you by Stephen's side. Speaking of best men, Derek, I'm tickled pink you're here.
Love you too, buddy.
And my bride told me I can't mention all of you by name, so I need to move on. As much as I would love to, thank you all for being here. And then most importantly, my bride, Julie. Seems like yesterday we were standing in that same church. I am so lucky to have chosen you. If I had to do it again, I would choose you. So many years of love and laughter, and I thank you for being my partner in life. Some thoughts. When I think of my little girl, I think of Belle from Beauty and the Beast. So very pretty and smart, with her nose in a book. And no, Steve, I don't think of you as the Beast. And when I think of my little girl, I think of Mulan, a princess and a warrior all wrapped up in one. And yes, Steve, I do view you as Ling Shang. And finally, Sophie, I think of Hermione Granger, who's smart and witty and clever and beautiful. And Steve, you're a much better catch than Ron. Although you do both have that red hair thing. And as I think of the young woman that's in front of me today, I'm so proud, so pleased, so lucky, so impressed with whom you've grown up to be. I'm the luckiest dad in the world. Yeah! I first had an inkling that Stephen was going to be a part of our family on a family backpacking trip to have a soup on. If you've never been, it's an awesome place. I sensed my daughter was eyeing Stephen that weekend. I also sensed that she was frustrated because he was a way better hiker than she was. I just got this sense something was going on. Forgive me. And so sometime after this trip, Sophie and Stephen started dating. Well, being the overprotective dad and knowing that I wanted to shoo the boys away from my little girl when she was in high school, I decided to hire a protector. I chose a member of the football team. He was big and strong, and I knew that he would protect my little girl. Where's Mark? So I chose Mark Godsey. Please protect my little girl during the day. Mark did his job so very well that Sophie fell in love with one of Mark's best friends, Stephen. And time passed, and Sophie went off to Gonzaga and Stephen to Embry-Riddle. I thought for sure that distance might come between them. But as the saying goes, distance made the heart grow stronger. So many conversations included Stephen, so many trips to Spokane, to Prescott. I knew I was in trouble. And then last year, on a ski day, Stephen and I took off together to do some trees. We did ditch Soph. Little did I know that I would remember that day for the rest of my days. We went down Drunken Frenchman, back up to the top of Mary Jane. We're about to go back to see Soph. and from 10 feet away, I heard Stephen's heart beating. He walked up to me, and I knew something was up. He looked straight in my eyes and asked for my daughter's hand. Now, he might remember it differently, but I think I remember saying yes pretty quickly. I also remember the look of surprise on his face. I think he was ready for a lecture or something. But I'll tell you all today, Stephen has proven himself to be a man of honor, as well as a man that loves my daughter. Stephen, I'm proud to have you as my new son. And to my toast. Let the family and friends in this room be your roots, your foundation, your support system, and your rock to lean up against. We are all here to give you your wings. May you fly to great heights together, and may your journeys together always end in soft wings. To Sophie and Steve. Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
You're on.
Okay. Okay. So I'm Uno of the Maid of Honors. And so I met Sophie at Gonzaga. And our first encounter was we went to a movie and then we walked back. And in this time, she was moving from Dooley to CM. And the moment I remember the most about Sophie is she left her shower caddy, which to Sophie is very important. So I thought in giving my toast, I would make you a shower caddy to cross the country with. Because Lord knows you need it. So, Eleanor, I need that. She's my buddy in helping. Okay, so we were roommates. And I evidently didn't clean well enough for Sophie. So, I'm giving you your favorite scrub brush in purple because it's one of your favorite colors, and I couldn't find green, and I looked through Target. So, I give you a scrub brush, and Steve, use it. All right, what's next, Eleanor? Pick one. Just pick anything. Gum. Because you were the friend of mine that always had gum when I asked. So I'm giving you the pack to always have gum for the rest. Well, this will last not the rest of your life, but it's always good to have a backup pack. Okay, next. Good job, Al. Okay, so I'm a chef, and I work with boys. I've learned a good spatula can always keep them in line. So I'm giving you a spatula. Plus, it'll make eggs. She likes 2 egg whites and 1 egg yolk. Or 1 whole egg. That's her recipe. You may want to write it down. I do have it written down in your box. So, just so you know. What's next, Eleanor? Okay, so Sophie was the first person to show me the Avengers, and I found an Avengers cup because if you all know Sophie, she drinks a lot of water. So I found a little cup for you to have a drink out of the Avengers. All right, what's next? Okay, so whenever Steve came to Spokane, they would go for a run on Sophie's request. She would wake him up, and then they would come and have breakfast for 2 in 1 bowl. So I figured they needed 1 bowl that didn't match, so you can always have breakfast for 2.
Wow. You're making us all look bad.
Sorry. Okay, so every girl probably in this room had lip smackers at one time. So I found you Princess Lip Smackers. Yes! Yes! You always have some lip gloss, and you should always have soft lips, and it'll always remind you to be young at heart. Because no matter where you end up, you need to be young and have fun. All right.
What's next?
Okay, so I was the girl in college that had all the nail polish. Everybody came to my room. So I'm starting your collection. Okay, so you're gonna be moving a lot. And you're gonna need some duct tape. And you can't lose it because it's pink. And it also reminds you to always stick together. So that's what's important in life. Stick together and get through everything together. Okay. Whoop. Here's my last prop, I promise. So Sophie knows what these are. These are magic erasers. One thing my mom always told me is always look for the good and never the bad. So here's to erasing the bad and only having good in your team's life. So, I would like to propose Sophie for love and laughter and eat some good food. So I was gonna pick up a glass, but cheers! Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, I don't know who's next. Okay, well I have to clean up my mess. I have to also make a mess at your wedding. Woo.
Do you have to follow Miss Aurora?
Wine? It is my wine. Oh, I brought this wine. This is your wine. I bought my own. I just. Good job. I want a hug from you too. Yeah. Okay, Eleanor, you gotta leave that with them. I told her she could get a princess with it. I shared. Okay, sorry.
Okay, so a lot of you guys don't know me, so real quick, me and Steve met freshman year in college, went through Air ROTC together, Air Force ROTC, Phi Kappa Phi, and Ronald Air Society, so we've been through a lot. And then I didn't meet Sophie until junior year in college. But first off, I would like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Doro for making all this possible, because without you guys, none of this would have happened tonight. So round of applause for them, please. Next, the beautiful, beautiful bridesmaids. Thank you. Because without you, Sophie, there's no way she would have held this together. If you guys know her, it would have been gone. It would have been over. I wrote this down and I'm forgetting stuff. So yeah, I remember the first time I talked to Sophie. Me and Steve were in the middle of a training session when we were in college, and he kept talking about this Sophie girl. Sophie girl, I'm like, who is this Sophie girl? Like, I've heard about this Sophie girl since freshman year in college. Sorry.
Speak up.
So I've heard about this Sophie girl since freshman year in college. He never stops talking about Sophie. Every time the phone rings, he goes, "Hey, honey," and he just disappears for hours. No idea where he went. He just disappears, and then finally just shows up again. So the first time I ever meet Sophie, she's already not in a good mood. It's partially my fault because I planned this one training event, and it just happened to be on the day that she was coming out to meet him. She flew a quarter way across the country. And so I think the first words that we had were kind of heated together. I tried to introduce myself, and she's like, "Oh, so I have beautiful names." And Mr. Doro, you warned me about Sophie's wrath. Like, I've already experienced it. And then the second time I spoke with Sophie was one of Heartache's finer nights. Steve, sorry, in Air Force Before last year. Steve decided that he was going to drink a little bit more than he should have. And so he passes out in my basement at the bottom of the stairs. And he's supposed to go skiing and snowboarding, and also he was supposed to call Sophie. So he's freaking out. I'm sorry. I told him I wouldn't tell him this, but almost on the point of crying. So I know how much he cares about you. But I'm scared because this is the second time I've ever spoken to her. Now I have to call her and explain. So the first things out of my mouth are, hey Sophie, don't be mad. But Steve's passed out on the bottom of my stairs. He's supposed to be in Flagstaff, and somebody just drove off with his Jeep. We're working on this. Don't worry, he'll be all right. We're on it. And of course, it worked out. So that was my second encounter with Sophie. But no matter what Steve's faults, for some reason, she stuck with him. We were all surprised. All the guys in the back stand up in uniform, asking if the reasons she stuck with him, we don't know. He's lucky. He is the lucky one out of this group. But in all honesty, Steve is probably one of the best guys I've ever known, and I'm so honored to have the privilege to have met him, because you will never meet anyone who is more loyal, more honest, and will do anything, drop anything, to make sure that his friends are taken care of. I don't remember how many times this guy has dropped everything he's doing, even if it's studying for the finals, or he needs to be at his final in the next 30 minutes, and he's out there helping a friend with something, with their car broke down and they're stuck in the middle of Arizona, because we almost lit the forest on fire. But he's always there to help, no matter what. And Sophie, wow, I don't even know what to say about Sophie. Once I finally met her face to face, in a friendly environment, where she wasn't mad at me, and I don't think she remembered who I was until now. It changed, because I could definitely tell there was something special between these two. And I don't know when Mr. Doro recognized it, but something was telling me freshman year he had already had his eyes set on you, and he already knew what he was going to do. So I forgot the last of the speech, so I'm just going to go straight to the toast. It's my first one. Give me a break.
Your mic,
So,
man, speak up.
to the bride and the groom, I'd like to propose a toast that you will be through hard times with the Air Force. You'll be away from each other. And I've seen Steven when he's away from you, and I know it's going to be hard, but you have an entire group of people out here, Air Force, non-Air Force, that love you and will take care of you no matter what. And I hope that for the rest of your days together, I hope it's a very, very long time, you guys will always love each other, honor each other, cherish each other as much as you do today, and never forget these moments that you guys get to share.
Cheers.
Cheers.